Well, hello there, folks. Day 3 of the Russell Brand scandal, and it's gathering pace, there's no doubt about that. Before we go any further, I've heard news. Dan Woooooton is absolutely over the moon. He said he's well chuffed with old Russell and the problems Russell's got. I believe he sent him 3, Fortnum and Mason hampers for Christmas. He said he's over the moon. He was praying somebody else would do a Schofield, an Edwards or a Wootton. And it seems that Russell's come to his aid. He said, if only one more can get done in the next 3 or 4 months, he said they might forget about me completely. He said, up to now, I've done me damnedest to keep everything at bay, and it looks like it's working. People aren't talking about me like they were. He said, but with this Russell Brand now, and maybe one more, I might get away with all of it. And he's probably the worst of all that, folks. No, seriously. Russell Brand, look, let me tell you this. I am not the cleverest soul in the world. I do not propose to be. I am not a Russell Brand hater for all I don't like him. I'm not after Russell Brand. I'm after the truth. And if the truth is what we believe it is, he deserves all he gets. But let me just say this first, because there's lots of conspiracies and all that palaver and witch hunts and so on and so forth. Look, this is the way I see the world. I'm not as clever as some of you on here, or should I say, I'm not as clever as some of you people that watch this think you are. I'm not saying many of you aren't clever, a lot of you will be. But many people have an agenda. I think old Russell did as well. And people are telling me, no, he was the guy that was after those with an agenda. For me, Russell Brand set up this thing 6, 7, 8 years ago. Maybe not. Maybe he's realised things were going to close on him further down the line, and he wanted to be a champion of the people. That way he could get loads of people behind him. He got 2,000 people behind him over the weekend when he did his concert. He only gave him an hour's worth because he got there an hour late, he got stuck in traffic, and he left early because he wanted to go see the Dispatches show, so then he got an hour. But they cheered him on and off stage. For all that they've heard there might be rapes and this, that and the other, they still cheered him along. He's still got all his fans there. This thing that Russell Brand's doing, to me, it's just very, very similar to what Willoughby's doing with the Wild Moon, and what the woman off Loose Women was doing before that, a wellness thing. They've all got these different things. They're all money-making concerns. Brand has got 6 or 7 million followers. He's making a fortune. Every time he posts something on YouTube, he will be making a fortune. He probably doesn't ever need to act again or do comedy shows. Doesn't need to do it. But this is the world as I see it. In Great Britain, we've got 2 absolute idiots running our 2 main parties. I vote for nobody, I trust nobody, but they're both idiots. In America, we've got 2 absolute idiots fronting the parties there. They might be idiotic in different ways, they might have good points and bad points, but none of them are 100% trustworthy. They're not. And one of them's dying of, I don't know, has he got dementia? He can barely walk, he can barely stand. His son's a nightmare, and then with all the dog, nothing sticks, but oh my God, everyone of the dog are after him. But he still seems to weather the storm. They're the 2 countries that matter to me, Great Britain and America, or they're the main 2 countries. Then we go to Russia. You've got an absolute balloon of a person running that country. You don't know what he's going to do next. You've got the same in Korea. Then you go to China. The Chinese that rule there, not the nicest people in the world. They don't treat their own people well at all. They're happy to bang them up in, well, they're not gulags over there, I don't know what they call them over there, for year upon year upon year, just for standing up for themselves and having something to say about a government. They're oppressed completely, probably more than anybody else. But the Chinese have an agenda. Year on year, they're getting more powerful. Year on year, they're getting closer and closer to running the world. That is what they want. Now, they're the things that I see. I've got plenty of people saying, Brand is this, Brand is that, he's calling this out, he's calling that out. I've got a friend of mine who was talking to today that was defending him. He's on Brand's side. Oh, he speaks up for the people, he does this, he does that. He's telling you that all the news is crap, and what you're fed in the newspapers and by BBC and ITV is crap, and they only want you to hear what you want to hear. I get that to a great extent. There is a lot of that going on. But for all you can call BBC and ITV for giving us the wrong news and the wrong information, and the press, you can also call GB News and Top News, because they have their agendas as well. None of them are 100% squeaky clean. They're all preying on getting people on their sides. That's what they're doing. And they're not all right. As I say, you've got Woooton there on GB. No spin, no this, no that, no the other. He's got all these crimes stacking up against him, and he's still in a job. 3 months previous, when Schofield had probably a third of the charges against him, less than a third, he's banging the drum, Woooton, saying, ITV, we've got to get him out. Get him out. Get it all sorted out with the courts or police or whatever it may be, and if he's innocent, bring him back. And if he's not, he's lost his job. Yet Woooton, from what we can see, has done a hell of a lot more, and he's still in a job. It's just crazy. But some people back up these news channels. These people that say things that stick their heads above the parapet and have an opinion like myself, cleverer than myself, though I don't know them all, mate. This is it. Sean Atwood, got loads of followers. I believe he has a lot to say. Katie Hopkins is it? She's got a lot to say. There's a woman with long blonde hair, nice woman. I rate her. I've even subscribed to her. I can't remember her name. She used to be on This Morning at one time. Most of what she says is spot on. Can't remember her name. Some of you folks that watch this will. I like most of what she says. But at the end of the day, I believe what I want to believe from what they all say. And what I don't want to believe, I don't believe. Unless they can change my mind. Now, I believe at this moment in time, Brand has done a lot of this, and the reason I believe it is we've now got even more people coming out. I'm not going to be 100% against him until some of them come out, face a camera, no silhouettes actually, face a camera, speaking to the camera, using the real name and where they're from, and telling us what happened. That's when you get a better feel for things. But people are coming out now in the droves. It's happening more and more in the last two days. So I'm sure it's only going to get worse. But the more I read about Brand, I've read a lot about him again today. Some of the things he's said over the years, some of the quotes he's made, you can't just sweep it under the carpet by saying, well, I was a sex addict, I was a drug addict, I was this addict. The things that he's saying about women are absolutely awful. And I mean awful. He treats them like a piece of meat in the main. That's what he does. Stories about, I love it in hotels when I get cleaning maids, the ones that really, really won't be intimate or won't be into sex while they're doing the room and this, that, the bashful ones, the shy ones. I love talking them down and talking around them, even if it takes me 2 or 3 days. I love it. I love getting into their old Alan Wickers and having sex with them because I then win the battle. And I love to do it to all. He said, I just love to get the unattainable. And he's saying things like that on all other things on a regular basis. And it's really, really bad. He doesn't really care about women. All Russell Brand cares about is himself. And he's got this thing there, the thing that many of you are watching, and he's got his 6 or 7 million followers. Is he as clean and green as he makes out? I'm not so sure. I asked my mate, who's supposed to know him, and he says, oh, he's against the government for this, and he's against that, and he's against that. I said, is he one of these that's against the vaccine? Oh, I don't know. I said, you must know. It's one of the big things. A lot of these people in that group are mega against the vaccine. My mate said, I don't know. Well, I've got a take on the vaccine, folks. My old man is alive today. He's had 3 or 4 jabs. Had he not had them 3 or 4 jabs, I am 100% certain he would not be alive today. Don't get me wrong, he went into our local hospital where the nurses and doctors were absolutely brilliant with him. I've said on here before, my dad is strong as an ox, although he's in his 80s for an 80-year-old, and he's got a resolution like nobody else. And he doesn't moan, he doesn't complain, he gets on with things, and he's one of these, what will be, will be. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die. If I'm going to live, I'm going to live. But I'll fight it, because I don't want to die. So he's got the right attitude. But without those jabs, I 100% believe he would now be dead. I wouldn't have my dad. And I'm glad to have my dad. So I've got nothing against the jab at all. I heard, is it old Carol McGiffin? I'll bet this tonight. I bet an old Dan Woooooton show. I bet she's not panellist tonight because they're going to be talking about Russell Brand. She's always fancied him. She's always liked him. She's always been against the jab. He has. I bet she's on the panel. I don't know. I've not seen anything advertised. I honestly don't know who's going to have on there. But I bet she's on there defending Brand. I don't think with what I've read this last 3 days, at this stage he can be defended. If nothing goes any further and he gets away with it all, or he's not done it, I will be the first to say, I got it wrong, I am sorry. Because I don't mind holding my hands up. I was a bit wary only yesterday, thinking, well, all 4 women have come forward, but nobody's put the face of the camera, nobody's put a proper name on themselves, nobody's gone to the police. I'm not sure about it. But the fact that more have come forward in the last 2 days, and we don't know how many more, and the fact that I'm reading all these things he said about women makes me think he's just a slime ball. I always thought he was. I always thought he was an unfunny slime ball. But again, as I say, many of you like him, and it's lost me the odd subscriber, but that's life. That's my opinion, and that's what I do on here. I give my opinion. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I would hope that you're big enough to respect it, because anybody that comes on here challenging me, I respect their opinion. I really do. If you've got an opinion that differs from mine, I respect it, because you're allowed that opinion. The same way I'm allowed mine, but I just cannot believe he's innocent of all these things. I just can't. And all I can say is I would never have wanted one of my daughters to have anything to do with him, whatever her age was. I just don't think he's the nicest person in the world by any means. Anyway, we'll see who's right and who's wrong. As I say, Wooton's happy, he's over the moon. It's another distraction from his ongoing case, which to me just seems to be stalling massively, but I'm sure there's a case there to answer earlier. But anyway, your thoughts down below. Give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down, give us anything, even if it's a thumbs down. More people watch it. I want to know what people think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, viewers. It's not a lot to ask, so I'm asking it. I don't normally ask it, well, once or twice, but that's all.